to 3.2, which is still our modeling unit, but this one's on graphical modeling and how we can use sketches and graphs and drawings to convey an idea. All right, graphical modeling is a visualization of an idea, often created on paper or through software using 2 or 3 dimensions. And the image here on the bottom right is what's called an exploded view. If you took the intro course, the intro to engineering, you're familiar with these because we made some of them. For the rest of you that may not have taken that class, an exploded view is when you take your full assembly and you pull it apart in a way that makes it easy to see how all the parts fit together. Thumbnail sketches, also, they're just a type of hand sketching, is a great way to share ideas. Think of yourself sitting at Starbucks, having your little skinny mocha latte, and you have this great idea. So you grab a pencil and you grab a napkin and you start sketching out that idea before you forget it. That would be considered a thumbnail sketch. Formal drawing techniques. These are all different ways of doing drawing files that you need to be familiar with. The first one, called orthographic, is just a 2D sketch. So a good example would be what's on the bottom right over here. This is a 2D view known as orthographic. Three-dimensional perspective, or 3D, would be like an isometric. Could be a good example of 3D. Now, there is what's called a projection, where you have a vanishing point. Could be used to show depth. That's actually a perspective. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective views. Anyways, they're used to make something look realistic. It does have what's called a vanishing point, like train tracks. If you look at the tracks, long straight section of train tracks, it looks like they're disappearing off into the distance. You can use scale drawings. If something's too big or too small, you can scale it. You can show parts and assemblies, exploded views. The essential idea. Graphical models are used to communicate design ideas. So we have several different types of views over here. This first one on the left would be an exploded view. It's the assembly, but everything's pulled apart a little bit so you can see how it fits together. So is the one on the right. This one in the middle is what's called a detailed view, which means they focused in on the section down here labeled A, and they've made it bigger so it's easier to see in detail the small stuff. Graphical models. They simplify the data, present it in such a way that understanding what is being represented is easier. So it aids further development or discussion. You're all familiar with the double helix of DNA. Is this what DNA really looks like? Not really. This is a model. It's a model that we use to show how your different nucleotides come together to form base pairs and to make DNA. Does this help us understand and help us build our knowledge? Yes. Is this exactly what it looks like? No. Designers use graphical modeling as a tool to explore creative solutions and refine ideas from the technically impossible to the technically possible, widening the constraints of what is feasible. And Grumpy Cat disagrees. TOK. Are there aspects of the world that are not amenable to modeling? To what extent does graphical communication shape and limit our knowledge? So I put a little picture down here. The thoughts when a car alarm goes off. 99% of people think, that's annoying, go deactivate it. 1% of the people actually think, hey, somebody's car is being stolen. So maybe that's a good use of graphical communication. And here's a little Venn diagram. The development of ideas through graphical models allows designers to explore and deepen their understanding of a problem and context of use. Okay, so here's our Venn diagram. We have stupid, evil, and crazy. You may fall into one or more of those categories, or maybe you know somebody who does. If you are stupid and crazy, you reject reality. If you're stupid and evil, you dominate or humiliate. If you are, oh, sorry, you're reckless. If you're evil and crazy, you dominate and humiliate. And if you're all three together, bah!